Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. Well, it's finally happened. It's finally been done. All of the words and energy everyone's put out into the world has finally made this a reality. The Chris Cornell estate and Soundgarden have finally come to terms on the remaining material that Chris had recorded and was intended to be used on the next Soundgarden album. This is something a lot of people have been waiting for, and it's pretty big news. So what does this mean for the future? Well, hopefully it means at the very least an EP of some type in the future, which contains Chris's vocals that he had performed for what they have apparently said was half of the next Soundgarden record. And hopefully the band will come together and complete that and put some music and some good things to that, and hopefully we will get something. And finally, a close to the Chris Cornell legacy, and everything that's left will be out in the open, and then we'll be finally ready to move on and enjoy the legacy that was Chris Cornell and Soundgarden in harmony, and everything will be great. And potentially there may be more stuff. Who knows? There could be some other unreleased Soundgarden things that could exist that could find their way onto a new release in the future along with this material. We don't know. But anyway, let me read the official post that was made by the Chris Cornell official page, which says, Soundgarden and Vicky Cornell, on behalf of the estate of Chris Cornell, are happy to announce they have reached an amicable out-of-court solution. The reconciliation marks a new partnership between the two parties, which will allow Soundgarden fans around the world to hear the final songs that the band and Chris were working on. The two parties are united in coming together to propel, honor, and build upon Soundgarden's incredible legacy, as well as Chris's indelible mark on music history as one of the greatest songwriters and vocalists of all time. And what timing it has here, just 10 days before the vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame closes, which Soundgarden, of course, is in currently 5th place. So I think that was probably part of the catalyst of getting this done, was the Hall of Fame thing and the fact that the legacy of Soundgarden could be celebrated. And it probably doesn't seem right to have everybody at odds and things unsolved here before that happens. That seems like bad taste. So here we are. Things are done. Now, could some of this have been about money? Probably. A lot of things. Always money is a factor in any of these kinds of disputes. And that hopefully got reconciled, and, everybody's shares of this or different things like that have been organized. Although I don't know that money was really that big of a factor with this thing. I think it was more of, well, a lot of it was probably grief driven, and then a lot of it is figuring out the proper way to handle the legacy, and not everyone necessarily would agree on that. And that's an emotional topic, considering Chris had passed away. So, that could be a big reason why this took so long to get done. And I mean, that's the thing to think about. Some people want to label Vicky as greedy and selfish and just hanging on to Chris's stuff for the money, or they call out the band for being heartless and being unfair with what they're asking for legally and things like that. But I don't know that any of those things are really true, honestly, at this point. I mean, with Vicky's part, people had to keep in mind that her husband died, man, and people just kind of want to put that under the rug, and, because the fans want a certain thing, some of them get upset about that when they aren't getting what they want right away, and then everyone have to call people names, which Vicky did not deserve a lot of the treatment she probably got from people as a result of what she did, being in a vulnerable position, feeling like she has to protect what's left of everything that Chris had around her, things like that. That's a really complicated emotional thing to deal with. There's a lot of grief there and things to process that, it's hard to let go and be able to come to this decision here and move on. It takes a lot of time to get over that things like that. And of course, the band's interest of they want to carry on the legacy properly. They don't want anything weird. That's why they were uncomfortable a little bit with the tribute thing, because they didn't want to over commercialize this. They really wanted to treat it as, you know, just for the band and the fans, things like that. And so things went on from there. They were concerned about how things were going to be treated in the aftermath of that. And to them, what Vicky was feeling at the time, I guess, was at odds with what they wanted to do. So the dispute happens. Not everyone can come together. Rash decisions get made because there's not been a lot of time since his death. People make quick decisions, get mad at each other, and then everyone sits around and kind of just simmers on it with this really uncomfortable status quo that, of course, we saw steps of that getting, you know, undone with first, of course, the parties actually talking, even though it's probably through legal people, still at least communicating. Then the thing with Soundgarden being allowed to have their social media website restored to them and all those things like that, and things slowly moving as everyone gets a little more comfortable, gets their emotions processed, gets over all of the negative feelings and the grief, and then we can really talk about things in a constructive way that celebrates the legacy as it was meant to be done, especially for the fans and especially for, you know, his children. Like, this is big for them too. It would be terrible for things like this to not come out amicably for Vicky Cornell and then Soundgarden to be at odds, and that creates a weird family dynamic, and that's not fair to his kids. They need to be able to celebrate their dad's legacy in a positive way. And so hopefully that played into this decision here, which happened. This is a big deal. You know, these people are not bad people. No one is a bad person in this situation. Sure, some people do questionable things, but when you're in a highly emotional situation like that, you can't really blame people. And in the end, good people came together to do a good thing. And in the end, that's all that really matters. Excited to see what is going to come out of this. Should be fun. Hopefully they get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and we get to have a celebration there before we go on to finalizing the legacy here. Anyway, just wanted to pop in real quick and talk about this. Like and subscribe if you guys want to, you know, whatever. Do all the fun stuff. Leave a comment about it if you're interested in the situation or got an opinion, you know, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Have a good one.